Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the train room. No, I didn't get a tripod for Christmas. I've actually had the tripod for quite a while, but normally when I'm up here in the train room working, I'll just grab my cell phone, and start filming what I'm doing. But tonight, I took a little bit of extra time to clean up here, and I just wanted to give you a brief update on the status of the layout and show you some projects I've been working on. Do a little bit of a short how-to over here, and just to give kind of a New Year's update. So first of all, I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and take a tour of the train room, show you where things are. And to do that, I'm just going to grab the camera off of the tripod here. So probably not too much has changed since last we were here. Again, I've got the base painted a brown color. I think I'm almost sure that the sky was done back here. As a matter of fact, I'm certain it was. So a couple of things I found at hobby shops here and there. I have this roadway which is printed on some black felt paper, and it's fairly thick. I don't know, it's a 1/16, maybe a 32nd or so of an inch, but it has several different types of crossings painted on that. And the object is that you cut off the section that has the crossing style that you want and glue that to the layout. So I think there's, I don't know, maybe eight styles of crossings there that I can use. Back here in front of where the coal mine is going to go, you see I've just got a bunch of foam pieces stacked up in there. I found some of this 3/4 inch foam in the garage when I was out there cleaning things out, so I'm going to use that back in this corner to create a mountain. Again, that's where the coal mine is going to go. There's the original track plan still sitting up there. I did purchase a bridge. It's a trestle style, and I've got it in here pretty much where it's going to go. I've got some spacers obviously underneath it to bring it up to the height of the risers. But grab a piece of track here and just lay that across. But so anyhow, that's how that's going to look. I left a gap at the end of the bridges so I would have room to put some landform in there, and also there are these abutments that will go in here. So I wanted to have some space to be able to play with those. So that's the bridge right here in the center where you see the gap. It's a little bit shy of 3 inches, so I may have to do some finagling there to get a roadway in. But a lot of times on the old trestles, the road between the trestle bents is a little bit narrower than the regular road. You can see if I grab one of these roadways here, it's a bit wider, probably, I don't know, 1/4 inch either side. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and paint the roadway there between the bents. So the track is ready to be down here, or ready to be laid. It's sitting here ready to go, and I thought I would work on the yard portion first. I'm going to put an intermodal yard in here. Nothing like our friend Steve, who has the mother of all intermodal yards, but I'm just going to do a small one. And so a couple of things I found here locally. This was at Big Lots, I believe. It's actually cork bulletin board material. It's in a 1 foot square, and this is a piece of cork roadbed here, and you can see that it is exactly the same height as that cork roadbed. So it comes in a package of 4. So I've got that I can use underneath my turnouts. I can manufacture my own, so they're custom size and they fit as needed. The other cork that I found, which I thought was the same thickness, It's also bulletin board material, and it comes in a package of 2 here, and it has adhesive backing on it. Found this at Big Lots as well. This piece I painted flat brown just to see, if I could kind of match it up to that. But what I may do is actually use this stuff for the intermodal yard, because it's a little bit short. I don't know, maybe a 1/16, 3/32, something like that, short of the cork roadbed height. So I may use this as the underlayment for the intermodal yard, and then cover it with something that looks like concrete, a paper type product, either some of that matting material that I used on the old layout, or possibly some of this poster board material that is down on the floor there. Not sure yet, so I'm going to experiment with that to see if I can make a nice smooth surface that looks like concrete. I've purchased also 5 left and 5 right Pico turnouts. These are the medium radius turnouts. I'll use, the majority of those in the intermodal yard here. And then back over here on this side of the layout, in this area, I'm going to make a crossover. So I'll use 4 of those turnouts in this section. I don't have that laid out yet permanently. I just have one piece of track stuck down over here with pins. So that's step 1 is to see how my radius was. And I've had a couple of turnouts in there along with some other track, and I've tested it running some cars over it, and it looks like it's going to work out pretty well. So sorry about that. that's the plan. So let me put the camera back on the tripod, and I'll show you some of the projects I've been working on. Alright, so over here in my little work area, hopefully you can see this. Just wanted to give everybody an update on the wood chip cars here. You can see that I've got the sawdust coating in here on top. It's all glued in, and it came out really nice, and I'm happy with how that turned out. I haven't actually tried to remove these yet from the cars. Maybe they'll come out, maybe they won't. I tried 4 different methods to get the wood chips in there, and the end result of all 4 methods was the same. The wood chips are stuck and they don't fall off. So what I have underneath here is a piece of that green florist foam, which I think I showed in a previous video, and it's in there first, obviously, just to support the wood chips. And I shaped the florist foam, just with some little bumps and ridges and so forth in it, so that when you put the sawdust on top, it's not one flat hump going through there. So it was fairly easy to do. I cut the florist foam obviously to the size I wanted. I left it short, probably 1/8 of an inch around the sides, so that the sawdust, I don't know if you can see that, if it's going to focus, it's not spilling out over the sides. It turned out really nice. So how do I do it? Cut the florist foam, I coat it, take a little paintbrush, coat it with full strength white glue, sprinkle on a layer of sawdust just to cover the foam really well, and then I take some watered down white glue, 50-50 mix, with the soap in it to cut the surface tension, and just layer on very thin layers of sawdust, and each time I get a layer on there, cover it with the thin white glue. And the thing about the sawdust is obviously it's very absorbent, so it soaks in all that water and glue, and it's really, it's hard as a rock here. So a couple of other things I've been working on. I think I've showed you this before. I got these Sealand trailers at a train show, and I'm going to try and get as close as I can here. Don't know if you can see the hubs on those, but those are painted hubs. And I used my notebook reinforcing rings as a mask there, and those holes in the notebook rings are exactly the same diameter as the semi wheels. And so if you just plop one of the rings down on there on the wheels, it takes a little bit of time to place it so that everything is masked properly. But you can take the wheels off of the truck, and what I did was stuck them in a scrap piece of that Florist foam kind of up in the air like little plants with the mask on top, and just took a Krylon flat red spray paint, and came out pretty well. There's the other side. So pleased with that. And another thing I'm working on, I picked up this bulkhead flat car at a train show here recently in Nashville, and I had ordered some lumber loads, and I don't know how many of you have done this before, but it's a Jagger, I think is the brand name of lumber load. And how these come is they're these little wooden blocks that are natural colored wood, and what they give you are these wraps. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'll try and get close, but the wraps have, in this case, Weyerhaeuser lumber symbols on them. Well, what they tell you to do is cut out those wraps on those green lines, and then carefully, and I mean carefully, wrap a piece of this wood with this paper. I tried that once and I said, this is nuts, I'm not doing this. So what I decided to do was just spray paint the wood in a flat white. So this is what you get. And then with my hobby knife, I just cut the symbols out of here. And then I take a little bit of white glue and smear it on the edge. The edge that didn't turn out so well. Smear the white glue on there, just get a real thin coating, and then press the cutout of the wrap onto the side. And then I glued 3 of them together. So there's nothing on the end, there's nothing on the back, but it's going to go on a flat car, so what do I care about what I can't see? So, and I've got 8 stacks of these, and you can see that once it's on the flat car and running around the layout, you're never going to know that that's not wrapped. What this gives you is a heck of a lot of symbols that you can use, a lot of decals, so to speak, because there's 2 per sheet. Well, one sheet will do 2 of these lumber stacks, and I just glued these together. I don't know if I said that, but another thin coating of white glue between them, and stack them up, and it looks pretty good. So I'm going to do one here really quickly, so we can see how it turns out. I said I was going to use the X-Acto knife, but heck, a pair of scissors works just as well. So I cut as close to the edges of these as I can get, and then across the bottom and across the top. So what you're left with is decal on the floor. But anyway, so that's what you're left with. So I just take my 33-cent a bottle white glue from Walmart, and I put 3 little drops right on the face of the wood, and then just take my finger and smooth it across the face, and then take the decal, and this one's a little bit big. I'm doing this live, so let me cut that a little bit because we don't want it to hang over the top. Just trim that off and place it right on the face of that, and then just take your finger and smooth it down, press it right into the glue, and there you have it. So really quick. It's a heck of a lot quicker than trying to wrap each one of these stupid blocks of wood with one of these pieces of paper, and it comes out obviously very sharp because it's wood, and if you push it too soon before the glue dries, it comes right off. But anyway, so it looks good. Glue them together, got your stack of lumber. So as I said, I've got enough for this car, and what I'm going to do with these last 8 is just go ahead and put the labels on them here, and then I won't glue these together. I was a little bit more careful painting these so they look better. I'm going to stack these around the lumber yard, you know, single stacks, or I may have a couple on a flatbed truck or something. If I decide to do that, obviously on a flatbed I'll put a decal on the back side of this. So anyway, just wanted to show you, you know, a couple of projects that I've been working on here, and hopefully this week I will begin to work on the layout of the intermodal yard. So get myself back in the shot here. That was frightening. So anyway, you know, that's what I'm going to be working on this week is the yard. Also under here, instead of having a spot here on the workbench, you know, to put things together, I'm going to get some drawer slides. And obviously, as luck would have it, my memory card filled up on the camera, so I'm back to the cell phone. Sorry about the shakiness, but so what I'm going to do here on this side of the table is use some 2x6s. So I've got some distance down below my 2x4s here, and I'm going to put two in there perpendicular to the front fascia board, and mount some drawer slides between it and have a sliding table to come out. I'll probably put a test track on there, programming track, and then also have room to work on projects such as this down there. So other than railroad construction, I guess for the next week or so, I'm going to try and get everything out of the layout room that doesn't belong in here. You can see there's some stuff back here that needs to go in the attic. So I'll be getting that cleaned out, and then I'm going to move all of the storage containers for the trains up into the room here. So, and I'll probably put them back under this edge. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope I haven't bored you to tears with all of this. But I just wanted to give you a New Year's update. Hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever winter holiday you celebrate. Hope it was enjoyable, and so hopefully things will be starting for the new year. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching.